We start this evening in Great Falls. A retired priest is behind bars after a criminal complaint made against him involving children pornography. The U.S. Attorney's Office announced on Friday that 80-year-old Lothar Conrad Croth appeared in federal court after an investigation concluded Croth had in his possession hundreds of child pornography images. On October 10th, agents with the Department of Homeland Security received a cyber tip tracing the IP address to Croth. Great Falls Police and Homeland Security seized 20 items of electronic devices at his home on October 26th. Those devices had approximately 400 images of child pornography. The majority of the images depict children, some as young as 2 years old. Croth is a retired Catholic priest assigned to Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church from 1989 to 2014. The Diocese of Great Falls Billings chancellor released this statement in response to the incident. And he says if these allegations are true, they are betrayal of the trust we place in all ministers of the church, such as Father Croth. He said further that there are no excuses for such behavior, especially in our priests. In the release, it states that Bishop Michael Warfel and the Diocese of Great Falls Billings is cooperating with the authorities. The federal judge ordered Croth be detained pending a detention hearing set for November 14th. If indicted and convicted, Croth faces a minimum mandatory sentence of 5 to 20 years in prison with a $250,000 fine and 3 years supervised release. And back here in Billings this afternoon, a structure fire caused an estimated $75,000 worth of damage to a house on Harvard Avenue. The fire started just after noon today. The blaze damaged a deck on the back of the house and caused smoke damage in the attic of the home. The fire was caused by faulty wiring on the exterior of the house. That wiring ignited nearby materials underneath the deck of the home. All occupants were able to make it out of the home and no one was injured in the blaze. Roller derby teams from the area have come together to help veterans this weekend. Skaters competed in Vets, Pets, and Sweat. Mustache Dolls and Team Montana put on the roller derby competition fundraiser. The money raised goes to Dog Tag Buddies, a group that brings dogs from animal shelters to veterans. Dog Tag Buddies helps veterans train the dogs, which are used for pets and service animals.
When you go through training, you build a different relationship with that animal. You learn to trust each other. You learn to read each other's body language. And when we start talking about service animals for these veterans, it's remarkable the change that can happen for them. They do things such as wake them up from nightmares. They help them with their anxiety when they go out in public.
It's awesome. I mean, you know, a lot of people have distress when they come home and they're sad, and there's nothing like a dog to help bring your spirits up.
Vets, Pets, and Sweat finishes on Sunday at the Shrine Auditorium. With Veterans Day tomorrow, Montana's Better Business Bureau watch out and is asking residents to be aware of scams. The Bureau says last year over 100,000 scams were reported by military families and military members. BBB Marketplace Manager Hannah Stiff says some red flags if you get a call or email asking to donate are if the person put excessive pressure on you to donate, if the person asks for any personal identification information, and Stiff cautions that the scammers can play on the caller's emotion and even pretend to be a veteran themselves.
And so people get really wrapped up in these stories, and that's how they might end up doing something they wouldn't ordinarily do. So we really want people to just do a little bit of research and take a breath before making a decision and maybe giving to someone who's a scam artist instead of a wonderful charity.
Stiff recommends people ask a lot of questions about the organization and where specifically the money would go to in order to make sure it isn't a scam.